wouldn't eat with a knife just in case I did this. I wouldn't walk in the street just in case I just had 10 seconds of madness. That's all it takes for you to just jump in front of a car. I lost everything in the stock market and in real estate. I had to have an intervention with Tony Robbins. His wife did one, his wife's brother did one, and my wife did one. I was really stubborn at the time. And my wife said this to me, she said, "You made one big mistake." And I said, "Wow, what was that?" And I thought she's going to penalise me for the rest of my life. I said, "Honey, you didn't lose it all, you still have me, you still have the kids." And I thought, "But I lost all the money." She said, "We don't care about the money." So sometimes we don't realise what we have. And a beautiful thing happened. There's one thing that removed the pain. As soon as I started to give, the pain disappeared. And at the time, I used to think knowledge is power. Who thinks knowledge is power here? It's not. Knowledge is not power unless you implement. I knew what to do, but I couldn't do it. Then I thought there must be a way. So I developed a way that gives you proven results immediately so that you can practice these methodologies and get immediate results. They're proven technologies. And it's taken me to write a bestseller book at Harvard, been on Fox News, played tennis with Richard Branson, met billionaires. But the most important thing is my family. It taught me how human beings work. And if you know how a human being works, you can stop the sabotage, the pain, the anguish, all the faults that we know that we have, but we don't know why we have them. So it's really very powerful.
And so, where would you love to see the company? What are your top 3 goals for the next year? The top 3 initiatives for their company?
One is to get a fully functioning funnel, and I've got people working on that. So I'm
So when's that going to launch?
Just
like you.
Yeah, end of the month.
Is it on the end of this month?
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Nice.
The second one is I want to get on big stages with Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, and Oprah. Now, I haven't chased that up, but Oprah has my tapes. I was on Fox News, and the lady on Fox News is a buddy of us, but I haven't taken that because I'm a little bit scared. So, you know what? I'm ready now. So I'll chase that up. And the last one is I want to talk on very large stages with 50,000 people 3 times a year, whether it be here, India. I spoke in India recently, or in Africa, where I was born.
Very cool. And what would you say are the things that you need to do to implement those? What are the implementation steps to make it happen?
Well, really, it's for me to get out of my way, to stop being overwhelmed. I've helped so many people in my life, and they're all willing to help me, but I always feel awkward asking for help. Now I'm beginning to ask. I'll ask Bill. He's been helping me too. So really, just sitting down in the last day.
I told him, I said, you got too many people to help with your message.
Yeah.
To keep it all to yourself. I mean, if you got that gift, you don't share it, it's a waste of time, right? I mean, it really is. It's once again, I want you guys to think quantumly from this, and that's one of the reasons you're here, is that start with the ripple effect, right? Start with the ripple effect as if it's already happened. Think of not what you've done, think of all the customers you've served, and think of how they've been able to share that because you were willing to step out of your own way. And a lot of times we never think about the ripple effect. We never even comes into our mind, right? Because we're thinking about what we've got to do, right? What we've got to get done. The better question to ask is, what would the ripple effect look like when it was already finished? Now, how many different lives could you touch when that thing is completed? And to me, that is way more inspiring than what you're going to do, what you're going to make, what's going to happen in 3 months or 6 months, right? And define the ripple effect for yourself, right? And once you do that, believe me when I tell you, it's playing life at a whole different game, and you'll see things differently than most people see it. And yes, your friends will think you're what?
Crazy.
No doubt.
Yeah, there was one sentence that changed my life, and if you take this on, I promise you it'll change your life too. And it's this: be so great that you cannot be ignored. And if you are ignored, it really doesn't matter. It was so powerful. And since I've been taking that on, magical stuff has been happening.
I believe it. And I think also, as you're going through those things, what do you see are some of the, what are the 3 big challenges that you see that are holding you back from making these things happen? Because I think you've had these ideas for a while, right? Yeah. What are the challenges that have held you back from achieving those big goals?
One of my issues is I get overwhelmed, I lose stuff, I forget where I put stuff, and I make the small things more important. I get very easily distracted, and the biggest problem is I'm comfortable. you know, I've got a very good income. We live in a nice house. Everything's easy. But then I think, you know, what is my mission in life? As soon as I do that, then I have to step up. So it's really about letting go of the ego and letting go of being comfortable.
And I think what really helped you a lot is to track that out. You know, we teach in corporate America, how do you Gantt something, right? How do you Gantt it out? How do you schedule it out with the end in mind, right? It's like building a house. You don't just throw a bunch of stuff on the lot and say, okay, I hope the house comes together, right? There's a photo of the house, right? And then usually you get the lot you pick out, and then you've got the foundation, general contractors, electrical contractors, all the pieces of the puzzle, right? And if you're not good with the pieces of the puzzle, then you start with the picture and you bring on the team that what? Can execute. And I think that's the perfect thing for you, is that your goal is to be on these stages to have these things happen. And you know that, and please everyone, please write this down, that almost all success is called incremental gains. There's nothing wrong with incremental gains in your success. Most of the overnight success stories you hear about are always 10 years in the making. They don't happen overnight, right? If they do happen overnight, they're usually out within 2 years, right? They're done already. So, you know, if you really have lived a life or you've created a space that you're in there, begin to realize there's nothing wrong with incremental gain. Not at all. And so it's the same thing for you, is schedule the Gantt out, so now you can work quarter over quarter in reverse. You say, here's where I'm going to be. Now figure out who's the team. We're going to work on this tomorrow, right? We're going to begin to map out, you know, what does it look like to have the vision tied to your marketing, tied to your sales, tied to your outcome? And how do you map that so it's clear? So when you leave here before the next few days are over, you know exactly, here's my vision, here's my marketing strategy, here's my sales strategy, and here's the outcome. And how do you measure it day in and day out? Because once you start measuring it, believe me when I tell you, that I know this for a fact, what gets measured gets done. What gets measured gets done. Okay? So who has some feedback or some questions? Go ahead. Ideas?
One of your targets that you might want to consider for speaking on stage may be Hay House. Do you know Hay House at all?
Yes, yeah.
And they have a big info summit coming up, as a matter of fact.
They do.
With like 50,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
And also Mike Dooley is one of their new authors and stuff, and I do know him personally.
Okay,
So
yeah, I know his brother. Yeah, and I'm very good friends with Dr. Fab Mancini, if you know him. Yeah, but no,
You know who else you could talk to from that group is, she was married to John Gray forever.
Barbara DeAngelis.
Barbara DeAngelis, right. So I can connect you. We're actually Facebook friends. She texts me all the time. So you can connect right through Facebook on my Facebook and say hello to her.
Okay. All right.
And say that you'd love to have your message part of the Hay House thing, and she'll put you in touch with the person that's
Oh,
running it.
fantastic. Cool.
And what you started, the very first part of this video, like the first 30 seconds to a minute, was very powerful. Send that to them.
Thank you.
We will connect.
It's good. Now that you have the video. What else? Go ahead.
Michael Beckwith. I think we should talk about having you on his radio show.
You know, he's got my books in his church, and I know his treasurer very well. But I didn't know about the radio show. I could get that done.
I can connect.
Oh yes, please. Yes, that would be even better. Yeah. And I've done a lot of radio shows, TV shows. That stuff's very easy for me.
And he's got a pretty
And
good
it's all pure
audience.
content.
Okay.
He has a very spiritual audience too.
Right.
They're tuned in. Good. What else? Other quick feedback. Go ahead.
Have you ever thought about doing like an audio program?
Yeah, my book's on Audible,
Oh.
and I've got a ton of podcasts, a ton of radio shows. Yeah.
He's on it, baby. He's
What
on it.
about for like yourself, just maybe like a kind of like a personal assistant / handler, just because you are comfortable giving somebody the ability to kind of like whip you a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've got someone. He's a media expert, and he's doing all of that stuff for me right now. Yeah, so that's in the last 7 days he's been handling all of that for me, and that's given me the freedom to be just more alive and vibrant. So he's taken away all the
It
pain.
keeps you on track if you get off track.
Yeah, he's doing my marketing, the brochures, the videos, the suggestions. He's putting me in touch with Paul Burrell, who used to be Princess Diana's and the Queen's butler. We're going to do an interview together, and then Richard Branson's going to get involved. So a lot of beautiful stuff's happening.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other comments, questions?
What is the name of your book?
Immediate Happiness. I've got some copies. I'll give them to you in the next few days.
Do you wear the heart on purpose?
Yeah, I wear it every day.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I get up and I'm ready.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have to think. I used to leave the house. My wife said, "Are you going out like that?" And now she says, "Yes, I am." Really, it's painless. I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear.
I like it.
It's kind of like the Tony Shea model. He just kind of wears the Zappos, keeps smiling.
Yeah, it's so easy.
He never has to worry about his wardrobe. He's got a couple T-shirts and pretty much
I had
stays
27 of these shirts.
I was just wondering if you just wear the same shirt every day.
Do they have
Right.
different colors? Are they different colors?
No,
Oh.
no, I don't want to complicate things.
chill. Keep it simple.
Put that
Black
in
goes with
short.
everything. Easy.
Yeah.
Give them a round of applause. Good stuff. Rock